welcome back to another episode of the Double Switch. Something might sound different on your headphones today. It's me, John, opening up the podcast, and we're gonna break into this week of not so great Phillies baseball, folks. Josh, how you feeling about the Phils? Magic number 7. The city's disgruntled with the team. How do you feel?
Not good. If anybody feels good watching this team now, you're nuts. It's been an absolutely awful September as far as I'm concerned. I found very little enjoyment out of any of this. The big playoff push, the season we get back to the playoffs. September was supposed to be fun. It's something you celebrate. Everything's supposed to go good, and it's a time for the city to embrace this Phillies team, and that is not what has been going on. They've been really bad. They've lost 3 of their past 11. We're only holding on to our playoff spot because the Brewers don't want to go there either. They have no plans on playing in October, so they just lose just as much as we do, apparently. The whole city's disinterested. It kind of feels like you and I, 2 of the only dozen people that care, not counting the team. Jalen Hurts is killing it over on the Eagles, and it sounds, by the sound of it, it's much more enjoyable to watch than the Phillies get shut out by the Cubs. And actually, I apologize to the Phillies. We didn't get shut out. We lost 2-1. So
yeah, it was a tight ball game. Give them a little credit, man.
Put up a 1-bagger against the Cubs in their really good bullpen. I don't know. I don't know what I feel. I don't feel like I should feel. It's just one of those situations where I was expecting more.
Yeah, I think everyone was expecting a little more from the Phillies this year, but I think we're at the point where you can't set the bar low. I don't know why everyone's keeping their bar so high. Just enjoy this roller coaster of a season because, frankly, it is kind of amusing. I mean, not if you're a Phillies fan, but if you could take a step back, this has been a fun season. You don't know what to expect week in and week out. And I've compared to the past 10 years of baseball I've watched, this is the most entertaining team, amusing team I've been able to watch. And that's my optimism for you guys today.
I don't know how much that is saying exactly because we had 6 years of losing 100 games, and then we had just 3 huge September collapses. So congrats to the 2022 Phillies. They take the cake for most entertaining team since 2012. Let's get into some of the action. Started off. So last week, I said, what needs to happen this week, and what do you think is going to happen? You said we needed to go 4-2, and you thought we were going to go 3-3. You were correct in what you thought. We went 3-3, and it was a very, very weird 3-3. Started off losing against the Blue Jays. Then we go on one of our win streaks of 3 games, playing great baseball, and then we just lose 2. Was this week good for the Phillies, or was this week just a more meh?
This week was the Phillies. I mean, come on, I told you, just like that conversation we both had last podcast, we knew what we wanted the team to do, but we knew what the team would do. So it wasn't a good week for the Phillies. They could have easily put themselves in a position to clinch much earlier than the last 3 games of the year. But here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Let me sum it up a little bit for you. So I'll just pick little details from each game. So we lost Zach Wheeler's start against the Blue Jays. We come back and walk off the Blue Jays in the second game. We shut out the Braves in the third game, scoring 1 run in that game. Then we proceed to just pop off the following day and put up 10 runs, I think it was.
And at that point, everyone was back in. They were pulled in.
Everybody was back in. Then we had Saturday. Saturday kind of felt like a regression game. No, I don't think anybody was too upset about Saturday. And then Sunday, Kyle Gibson lost, and the bullpen blew it. So you're right. We did check every single box of the Phillies' personality in this one single week. We really hit everything this week.
Yeah, no, we had the ups, we had the transition to the slow transition on Saturday, and we had the good old collapse on Sunday. Yeah,
All
so
right,
that's your
give me your biggest positive of the week.
my biggest positive. Okay, we beat the Brave. We showed that we can play the Braves competitively compared to the last series. We can get to Max Fried at a pretty good rate. That's my big positive. I'm impressed with what we've been able to do against Max Fried. We're able to get his pitch count up and get base runners often against him. And if we end up matching up against the Braves, we're going to see him. So that'll be a good thing.
Yeah, we actually got to some pretty good pitchers this week. I mean, now that I think about it, our offense. I mean, if you don't count that one outburst against Jake Odorizzi, offense hasn't really been there in a while. So it's kind of seems like the positive of beating Max Fried is kind of bummed out by some of the negatives we saw. You know, the offense last night against Stroman. The offense, I mean, we faced Gaussman. We didn't put up many runs. First game in that series. It seems like the boomer bust offense is coming back to hurt us a little bit. You know, I know we did get to Max Fried, but this style that this offense is playing right now is kind of lending itself to our ups and downs. It actually might be the root cause of our ups and downs. I'm not sure where I was going with that. I was trying to find a positive, and that was the first thing.
No, that made sense to me. Down this stretch, it would have been a lot nicer to see players who aren't necessarily power hitters, contact hitters. I feel like I saw a lot of guys come out of their approach, and that's a sign of a team pressing to make the playoffs and doing a little bit too much. Guys like Bohm haven't had a great week.
You're
Even
forgetting someone
Hoskins,
big. You're forgetting someone really big.
Harp.
Doesn't look right.
Yeah, well, he's not our contact guy necessarily. He's everything, but no, he doesn't look right. He had a couple knocks last night, which was a good sign.
Yeah, do you think he's going to turn it around here in the last couple of weeks? Because, I mean, it's crazy. We have 1 week left. Do you think this offense is going to be able to put it together a little bit, or do you think that it's just going to be like you said, the roller coaster this last week?
They'll put it together. If I've learned anything from the Phillies, usually every 4 games of slumping, they kind of turn it around. And it seems like they've lost, 3 in a row now?
Yeah, 3 in a row.
Yeah, so either tonight or tomorrow night, Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, I guess it is. We didn't have a game on Monday. I think the offense will wake back up and get hot for another week. Hopefully it's tonight because we cannot afford, obviously, to lose another game against the Cubs and Nationals.
I keep saying that every game we play against bad teams. Like, we can't afford to lose this. And then we just go on and lose it. Yeah, I don't know. Bryce doesn't look right. He doesn't look like he has his timing. And it looks like he's trying to force his way back into having his timing, He knows that he needs to be better, and he's trying to force something that comes naturally to hitters. You can't really force yourself to be on time. Like, it's just not how baseball works. It'd be nice if Schwarber kind of heated up a little bit. He had a good day on Sunday, and he can carry the offense. Reese has been pretty good. No big complaints. JT, it's kind of just they don't seem to do it together.
That's the big one.
Yeah, Shorbs has these solo home runs. Bohm leads off every inning. He hits lead off with a single. Just it's something that happens when teams are going well. They put all of it together, and you have these innings where they bat around and score 5-6 runs. Not happening right now, and it's brutal to watch this. It feels like a separated team, separated offense from each other, and it's really holding us back.
Yeah, no, I was talking to some people at work about the Phillies, and I kept bringing up the same phrase that we need. We need a collective hot streak because we have
No, you're right.
seen I mean, if you go down and look back through the past months, we had some great months from Bohm carried us. Stott had that really good month. Real Muto this past month, September has been great for him, but rarely has two or three players even overlap with a hot streak, and that's not team baseball. It's just
No,
not.
no, and one guy can only do so much in baseball. I actually had a good thought. Do you think that if if you put a team together of a bunch of people who are used to playing baseball through the end of September, that's their season, that's what they're used to. Do you think these guys are getting tired? Because a lot of the players who've been to the playoffs, their season's longer. They're like more cut out for it. They played that super long season. Do you think some of the players who haven't been there, and especially the newer players, the Bohms, the Stotts, the Marshes, do you think they're getting a little tired and it's starting to translate into their play?
I don't know if it's tired's the right word, but I just don't think they're used to it. I mean, these guys came up the minor leagues not that long ago, and the season ends last week for the minor leagues. That's usually when they're. That's not. They could end up if you go deep in the playoffs, you end up playing another month and a half. So I think it's just not being acquainted to it. They've never done it, and that's why we all know it's so important for some of these young guys to get experience in a wild card round. Because I mean that should be the point of the season. I think everyone's on the same page about that. Get these guys to the playoffs, get any experience in there, get a taste of it, and then come back next year with some young players in the mix and be even better.
Yeah, the play looks kind of tired. Like if I could sum it up in one word, um, it's just tired. In the field, dumb errors, just base running blunders, just mentally tired errors. Bad swings. It's something that it looks like a lazy type of baseball. I hate to use that word because these guys are trying, but it just looks lazy. Bryson Stott had a bad error where he threw it over Reese's head at first base. I think he had two errors that game. He threw a bad flip to Gene. Just not the fundamentals. You're just forgetting them in games like this. Um, you're just throwing your approach away, like you said with Bohm. Um, I don't know. It stinks, and the more September goes on, the more I can reason with those people who are screaming in the background. Everybody can hear them. Everybody can hear those people screaming that the team's going to collapse. Everybody hears it. Like we get the point. Um, I'm starting to kind of think that they might be onto something in terms of why they're thinking that. It looks like a team that's just tired and is ready for the season to be over.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it adds up. These guys have not been to the playoffs, and they're not used to playing this length. None of them, except for like Schwarber. That's our only playoff guy, right?
Yeah, only playoff guy, and he's not hitting crazy good right now. It's really easy to lead a team when you're just raking, but he's got to kind of go out and do it, um, and that's probably a tough way to lead the way he's doing it. You can't just talk; you have to go out and do. Um, and he hasn't really been doing much either at a leadoff spot.
Uh, do you think the fan base's expectations for this team are a little bit lofty?
Um, no, no, I don't. I think a lot of this. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. But I think a lot of the frustration with the fans right now comes from the way the team's doing it. Like I started off this pod with saying, I wanted the September to be fun. 2007, 2008, we were young, but that team, you felt like they wanted it, you know? And when the team felt like they wanted it, the fans wanted it. Um, and this team does not invoke that same feeling with me. It hasn't really for, there's little glimpses where I can kind of feel that, that fight, that like dog you got in you. And this team doesn't have that like the 2007 team had. And it translates into the fans feeling because we kind of feel the way the players feel. And couple that with the fact that the Eagles are just taking over the city. Sometimes, if you listen to Philadelphia sports radio, sometimes they forget that the Phillies are still playing.
They
Um,
do.
yeah, they completely forget.
Now
But
this week, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, yeah, it's something that it's show me something with this team, and they're not showing enough for these fans to really buy in.
Yeah, I hear you, but I think that's one of the issues. I think this city they hold this team to the standards of '08 and from '08 to like 2012, like those squads, and like it's not that squad. We're gonna have to accept that those were really good players, really just the perfect team. They were such a perfect fit together. You don't get that, and that took years for the Phillies to build. Um, I know this team's taken a while to build, but somebody's just got to temper expectations, and we'll know when we have the right group of guys in the clubhouse.
Do you think it has anything to do with the way the players got here? That 2018 was very homegrown. People had been watching those players for 3, 4, 5, 6 years before that. Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, they kind of planted the seeds of that team before the team really grew up and won. Um, this team has a bunch of new characters, and the casual baseball fans um, who don't follow the Phillies that closely, they probably don't know like Brandon Marsh, and they probably don't know um, Bryson Stott, players like that. Whereas if you go back to 2007, 2008, you couldn't. Everybody in the city knew Chase Utley. Everybody, like you couldn't find anybody who didn't know who Chase Utley was, and Jimmy Rollins. And it's it's a problem that we can trace back to the organizational problems. But do you think that has anything to do with it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those guys, a good chunk of them were homegrown, and they were superstars before the playoff runs. From '05 to '07, those seasons, Howard, Utley, Rollins, they were all throwing themselves into the spotlight with how good they were getting. I mean, they had some incredible seasons in that span. So even on a national level, they had Chase Utley, Jimmy, and Ryan had a ton of respect from everyone. And you look at this team, and yeah, we have Bryce Harper, we have Kyle Schwarber, but other than that,
JT.
we yeah, JT. Sorry, I missed him. But other than that, a little bit short on that. And I think a lot of us thought that some of these guys we had that were like the daycare guys would be a perfect contribution for a playoff run, and they have done a great job. But sometimes these guys aren't going to get that much better in 1 year. It might take more than 1 year.
Yeah. What do you think this team really has to do to get the fans to buy in like that, or should we just throw that out the window? That stretch they had in 2008 was something we might never see again.
Yeah, it's gonna be this year. I don't see the city fully buying in, even if we make the playoffs, which is really sad to me.
Maybe if they didn't go on these 5 game losing streaks in the middle of September against the Marlins and the Cubs and stuff, like, come on, is that the best we
Hey,
got?
hey, I know what we got. It's not great, but what is? Just tell me what's the point of just whining about a collapse over and over every game? Just take the lump that we lost and just enjoy it, because we'll have plenty of time to complain in the offseason about how they collapsed. So just shut up about a collapse for now and just watch the team. That's, like, I don't even want to hear collapse. Just if it happens, we can complain about it for 4 months. But it hasn't happened yet, so just enjoy it while we have it.
Do you know my favorite part about this whole losing that we've been doing? Every time we lose, the reporters go in the clubhouse and they ask everybody what's going on. Like, why do we suck? And every time they do that, the players say, yeah, we're not worried. This is a veteran group of guys. We feel good about where we're at. They say that every time. And they just go out and lose the next day too. It means absolutely nothing when they tell me that, because like, show me that this is a veteran group that can just grind it out. Losing 2-1 against a last place Cubs team and squandering a lead. Yes, I'm talking about you, Kyle Gibson. Squandering 6 when your team gives you 6 runs of support, you have to win that game. If you're in the major leagues, you have to keep your team in a winning position in that game. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be here. And
Well,
yes, Kyle Gibson shouldn't be here.
No. Yeah, for context, guys, me and Josh were at that game, so we were a little extra salty about it. Just because every time we go to a game together, we happen to see Kyle Gibson on the mound, and it might be the most infuriating thing in the world. But to Josh's point, if Kyle Gibson does anything like that again, I would send him right to the Korean Baseball League.
It was a combination of having to watch Kyle Gibson, my least favorite Philly now. I'll say it. I don't care how nice the guy is. Go away. Kyle Gibson's number one fan was sitting next to us, cheering for Kyle Gibson the whole game, no matter how bad he was. And then it absolutely poured. And Johnny picked the parking lot farthest away from the stadium. He had a raincoat and everything. And I just had my jersey, and it was pouring. Not good.
Hey, just $5 less, bring a poncho next time.
$5. We saved $5, but I had to walk 10 more minutes. Anyway, yeah, no, they got to find a way to not start Kyle Gibson again. I don't know what they have to do, but they got to find a way because he's uncompetitive.
You think that they would be willing to do a little switcheroo with Eflin and Gibson?
Eflin's kind of a weapon now out of the pen.
I know that's why I didn't even want to say it.
Gibson would not be that weapon. Gibson would be useless out of the pen.
Kind of like Noah Syndergaard?
Yeah, we have a bunch of these players who are just bad starters and like just bad relievers. It's a weird combination to have, but if Kyle Gibson could get his like control together, he's supposed to be a control guy, and he's walking some people. He's pitching scared. It's a scared way of pitching. He's pitching like he doesn't want to lose, and that's a recipe to lose. And that's what he's been doing.
No, hit that right on the head. I meant to ask you, how do we feel about Nicholas Castellanos rejoining the Phillies yesterday? For those who haven't really looked too deep into it, the Phillies were doing just fine without him in right field, with the mixture of Matt Vierling, Nick Maton, and Dalton Guthrie. Those guys were hitting about 333 with pretty good on-base numbers and playing exceptional defense out there.
I don't even know what the guy's capable of anymore. I don't know what to expect. I didn't know you could turn down a rehab assignment like that. I thought it was the team that got to decide that, but they went to him and he was like, nope, not doing it. So hopefully he comes up here and shows that, he's ready. I think he had a couple hits yesterday. But if you turn down a rehab assignment and you come up here and go 0 for 15 to start, they're going to be calling for the guy's head. So I hope he does well. And I hope that he can regain some of that, fire that he had in Cincinnati, because I haven't seen that guy this year.
Yeah, and I think I won't go too deep into Nick Castellanos, but earlier in the year, I remember a lot of people talking about how he had gotten hit on the wrist early in the year and never went to IL or anything, but people thought that was kind of holding him back. I will say he did look good out there. His swing didn't have much lag to it. For the most part, he made some good plays in the outfield. He had that one that dropped in front of him that ended up being the winning run. But I think where we're at, and we've been giving those other three guys a good amount of at bats while he's gone. I think it should be a platoon situation right now.
Who are you going to platoon him with? Because Guthrie and Freeling are readies.
Oh, wait a minute.
No, it's not a bad idea if we had like a lefty, but Marsh has to be in center, and we can't. There's no point in rotating righties out to face righties. If anything, Castellanos is probably the best against righties.
All right, hear me out. I have another idea.
Oh,
I'm Rob Thompson right now. It's me, Rob.
Okay.
So from here on out, I am going to start Nick Castellanos in right field most days, and I am going to put a defensive replacement for him in the 7th inning each game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with doing that.
Why hasn't it been done yet?
I don't know.
Why haven't we done this? We have Dalton Guthrie and Matt Vierling sitting on the bench who are fast as hell, great defenders, and they do provide small offensive boom. I mean, Vierling and Guthrie can hit singles and steal bases. They're good pinch runners. You feel like these guys would be very useful right now. Why aren't we seeing them in the important parts of the game when it really matters?
It's a tricky team because you have a bunch of free agents getting paid a lot of money to do that. And it says a lot about the decision to bring them here if you pinch hit them in the biggest spots. It's kind of a safe face kind of a mode. Sure, Nick Castellanos hasn't been the best hitter in right field. There's periods where he hasn't been our best option out there, you can make an argument right now there's better options, like you were saying. But, you pay that guy a lot of money, and at a certain point, I guess you kind of have to live and die with him just by nature of how he's here and how much he's getting paid.
I call bullshit.
Well, you're not Rob Thompson.
Yeah, I guess I'm not. but I told you I was right now.
You notice that Rob Thompson, his support is kind of dwindling. You don't hear many of the critics or the critics of Joe Girardi anymore. They've kind of silenced up as, another September is going poorly. It's crazy how the tide changes like that.
Yeah, at first it was Gabe's fault. Then it was Joe Girardi's fault. And then it was Rob Thompson's fault.
Do you think
I'm starting to notice a trend.
Do you think his calm, cool, collective attitude is not helping right now?
Don't know how to answer that, but I don't think it's hurting the team at all.
Really? You don't think someone more fiery and who would go, kind of wear his emotions on his sleeve in that clubhouse right now wouldn't kind of jolt the team into life again?
No, I think you bring your own energy. Josh, you played baseball. A coach has never played the game for you, has he?
That's a good point. We can save that. How important is a manager to be? I was just curious on what you thought of Rob's role in all of this, because there are people who are suggesting that he's not helping in ways that he should be.
Well, those fans are overreacting. They're reacting.
You seem to think a lot of people are overreacting. You're not worried, are you?
Nope. I have my bar set. It's never changed.
You think this team's going to go to the playoffs in the 6th seed?
I think this team's going to squeak into the playoff as the 6th seed. I think they're going to lose in the first round.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel that's success?
I have a different view of this team. I think that's a success for this year, and I realize the direction this team is heading in with youth and departures with certain players that don't help this team in the way that we need, and I think that would be a huge win for the season.
Mind you, that team
doesn't feel like it.
That team that's going to squeak in the playoffs, according to you, is probably going to end up losing 66% of their games in September and is going to be in a playoff spot that didn't even exist last year. They are only there because I'm playing devil's advocate here. People are going to say they are only there because MLB expanded the playoffs and the Brewers happen to suck just as badly.
Yeah, they can talk their shit. I mean,
Would you agree? Would you agree with that? It's a good point.
It is a good point. I think they're definitely onto something with that, but I don't think that those same critics would say the same thing if their team was in there. You know, this is how
That's
baseball
true.
is now. It's the new normal.
No, it's a very uninspiring way to go to the playoffs. I would
Absolutely.
certainly agree with that.
No, this is not electrifying. This is not a pennant race for us. Like, we're not getting an NL East pennant. Like, we are scraping what's left of this team and trying to make it into something. Like, we're just kind of like flicking it. Like, do something. Do something.
They're not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep flicking them.
I don't know. You want to cue the music? I think it's time.
Yeah, it's that time, guys.
Just bear with us. Some technical difficulties. Did you lose the sound? You lost the sound, didn't you?
All right, I lost the Philly trivia banner.
Oh, that's
it's not
all right.
in here anymore.
It's all trivia right. Time, though.
Yeah, guys, this is double switch trivia. Tonight will be Josh's turn.
Top three.
What's that?
Top of the third inning.
Yeah, it is. We tied the last inning, and I have three for Josh that I think are fair because I did challenge him pretty hard last time.
1-0 me, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's keep it going, Team Josh.
Who was the last relief pitcher for the Phillies to make an All-Star game?
That's a good one. That's a real good one. All right, so I think it's Ken Giles.
It's wrong.
No, not Ken Giles, 2016, 2015. Papelbon?
No, 2017, Pat Neshek.
Oh, my God. Pat Neshek made an All-Star game?
Yeah.
Did Ken Giles make one?
You know, I don't know. I don't think he did. I think
I
would have seen it on the list I was looking at.
That was a good one. I never would have got Pat Neshek. I forgot he was a Philly, actually.
All right, well, here's the easiest one.
No, this is a trap. That's a trap question, then.
What other two teams did former Philadelphia Philly Pat Burrell play for in his career?
Giants.
Yes.
Oh, great. Definitely Giants. Man. Do I get a half point if I only get one? I think I should get a half point.
Fine, we'll give you a half point.
All right, now I can live with that
even
because
it's not that hard.
Oh, it's not that hard. That helps me. Now I know. I'm gonna go with definitely the Giants. I said that like 5 times.
Yeah, we've been over that. That's right.
Yeah, Giants are good. I think it might be I'm gonna go with the Rockies.
I thought you were gonna get it when I heard the first letter. It's the Rays. He signed a 2-year contract with them after the Phillies in 2009.
Didn't know that. Why? I don't know why I didn't know that.
Yeah. Huh. No, it actually caught me by surprise too. That's why I wanted to ask you.
All right. Well, half point. I'll take it. What's third question?
All right. Okay, this one's multiple choice, 4 options. Which Philadelphia Phillies player coined the phrase "you gotta believe"? A term that is perfect for right now. You can't doubt, you gotta believe. A, Lenny Dykstra. B, Jimmy Rollins. C, Greg Luzinski. D, Tug McGraw.
That's a good one too. All right. I don't think it's Jimmy Rollins. You gotta believe. I don't think it would be Greg Lazinski. It might be Greg Lazinski. Let's go with let's go with Greg Lazinski.
Incorrect.
Who is it?
Tug McGraw.
No, I was stuck between him and Greg Lazinski. Damn, that was a rough day.
Yeah, nah, those were not easy other choices. I kind of made it tricky. Those are all guys that might have said something like that.
It's a super generic statement. Anybody might say that. I could have threw you in there, and I would have had to think about it. You gotta believe anybody could say that. Oh man! All right, so now I gotta somehow come up with a way to make you get less than 0.5 points. Oh, that's gonna be tough.
That is just petty.
All right, it's fine. At least I got.
I gave you a fair slate. You just didn't know anything.
All right. So I scored half a point in the top of the third, and we will see what Johnny does next week. That is trivia time. We don't have any music though, so sorry.
Yeah, that's odd. I was playing it. I guess it just wasn't. We'll have to figure that out. Technical difficulties. Sorry, guys.
It happens. All right. 9 games left. I'm sure they'll go very well. What record do we need to get get there?
I don't know. Just win tonight.
No, I'm saying what record do you think we need to get?
Oh. I'm not thinking like that.
You're just one game at a time guy?
One game at a time. Tonight. 1-0.
So magic number's 7, so I think we need to get 4 wins because I think the Brewers will lose 3 times. I think the Brewers, even if the Brewers go 5-3 in their last 8 and we go 4-5, we're good.
But first, you got to win tonight.
Yeah, we got to win tonight. We got to take care of the Cubs, and I don't even know their starter. I looked at him.
I believe it's Davinsky.
No, he's in our bullpen.
We have a guy that sounds like Davinsky start. They do. He's a rookie, I believe.
Okay. Well, we need to jump on him and win because this weekend's going to be a disaster with the hurricane in Washington.
Yeah.
They already got to get 4 games in 3 days, and I don't think they'll be able to play this weekend, which is going to make it very interesting.
Yeah. No. Okay. Definitely. I keep forgetting about the hurricane, but that thing does look horrifying coming up the coast. So, yeah, these games are important. We don't know what's going to happen this weekend. That's all I got. You got anything?
Did you see that Dusty Baker said that he isn't going to rest his starters against us for the integrity of the game?
I respect that.
Oh my God! Come on, Dusty! Don't be like that.
Dude, I would. Come on, Rob would do the same thing. He wouldn't be resting players.
Come on, Dusty! Give the guys a break. They deserve a break. Do you think they don't deserve a break?
Do you think anyone wants to give the Phillies a break? No.
We'd probably lose to their backups anyway. So what's it matter?
Yeah, they're good. It'll be fine. Yeah. We'll sweep the Astros like we should.
Oh yeah, definitely. Can't wait to sweep the Astros. So next week, do you want to wait till we know, or like how do you want to approach next week?
When's the final game again?
I think it's Wednesday.
We'll surprise the people. Maybe we'll pop in with a little surprise episode, depending on how things are going.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll keep it kind of mysterious.
Sounds good to me. With that being said, thank you guys for listening to the Double Switch podcast. Follow us on Spotify and YouTube and whatever media you like playing podcasts on. If you're one of the billions of other people who are obsessed with the Eagles right now, go check out Pick Swap Media. They have a new Flying in Style podcast that covers the Eagles. I'm sure that is very, very entertaining to a lot of people. We might give it a listen once the Phillies season wraps up. But for now, we are fully focused on this playoff run. 1 week to go. All comes down to this, and just prepare for the unexpected, because that's kind of what this team does. Thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And go check out Josh's new article on the doubleswitchpodcast.com. And go Fightins. Let's beat the Cubs.